together that 4th of July day. That's when the land you're standing on became the U.S.
Good evening, you're listening to IITW Radio. I'm sorry, we're having some technical difficulty and we're working on it right now. So usually Calvin's song's a little bit hoppier, but we're not sure what's going on. So give us just a couple minutes to fix it. Thank you.
One nation under God says it all. Men are created equal, words written in by hand. They all stand to fight when a cry for freedom rings. Freedom isn't free. It comes with a cost. One nation under God says it all. One nation under God says it all. This whole world's changing, it's changing every day for the land of the free and the home of the brave. Stand up, everybody. Stand proud and tall. One nation under God says it all. One nation under God says it all.
Good evening and welcome to IITW Radio. Tonight I got a good show for you. I got Calvin O in the studio. One Nation Under God. It was what you were just listening. How you doing, Calvin?
Man, I'm doing great, Travis. Thanks for inviting me up here.
No problem. What a kick butt song.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
How long did it take you to come up with that song?
Oh, from writing it to finishing the writing of the song, or from producing the song?
Just writing it, sitting
Oh.
down.
About 30 minutes.
Holy crap. That's pretty quick.
I was sitting down listening. I was actually watching the news that morning, and I forget what channel or even what day, but they were talking about a group of people wanting to take the One Nation Under God under God or anything out of our money and off the printings and everything. And I thought, wow, I believe that my feelings are growing up. This country was founded under the religious belief that we have a freedom of religion and God. That, certainly, if you go to court, you got to swear on the Bible. It's all about God. And I grew up with God in my life, and sat down and wrote them words.
Yeah. Well, I think the Lee Greenwood song, even though I love it, I think it's been a little overplayed. Maybe, I don't think you could say it's overplayed, but it's something new coming along. I've heard a bunch of them that have tried to come up with something to outdo that, but I think on this one, not to give Mr. Greenwood any disrespect, but I think this one actually tops that one.
Oh, I wouldn't say that, but it's nice to hear people thinking that. But certainly Lee Greenwood has earned his position, and that song was used at a time when the country needed it.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
And today the country is a little different, and we may not be at war, but we're still trying to help other countries to survive their terrorist attacks and stuff like that. And most of where I go play is I'll play a lot of VFWs, American Legions, AMVETs and stuff like that, Moose Lodges and stuff, and full of veterans, and I'm proud to actually do this. I mean, it was a good feeling. God put those words in my head, and I put them down on paper, and we went to Nashville, and it's been recorded twice, but this was a second production. And it seems like a lot of stations, and I appreciate IITW for playing it as well. But it seems like it's starting to take off finally.
Yeah. Well, what you were saying about Lee Greenwood and it being there when the nation needed it, I think right now your song that you've got, One Nation Under God, I think right now with all the idiots that are burning flags and protesting, and that we had a thing this morning that I put up about in the school. It said their thing said prohibited on it. It went through and it listed guns and knives and da 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 da.
Right.
And number 8 on the list was American flags.
Wow.
No American flags, where it was on a shirt or anything. At the bottom it says we try not to offend anybody.
I grew up saluting the flag every morning, saying the Pledge of Allegiance, and using the words in God. You know, it's one nation under God. I mean, I remember back in the '60s, and I still can go back on YouTube and look at Red Skelton's little speech about that. And he said it would be a shame one day if they took it out of the schools.
Oh yeah, at the time when Red Skelton did that, they hadn't, when his teacher had told him that, they didn't have, Hawaii and Puerto Rico was not added to it then.
Right.
And then Red Skelton said at the time that his teacher had told him that under God was not in there. And you're absolutely right. He said, well, wouldn't it be a shame if, we actually took that out of the schools and stuff, which has happened. That's one of my favorite Pledge of Allegiance that I've ever heard. As a matter of fact, I did a show on it. What was it, Marie, on the 4th, July 4th?
July 4th, we actually re-recorded it on the 10th.
Yeah, and I put that up about Red Skelton. But, yeah, what a great song, especially at a time now when the nation seems like it's dividing,
Well, this last presidential campaign is probably the first time in my lifetime I've ever heard the thought of one nation under God being even used in a political campaign. I mean, most of them are talking about the politics of other things, welfare and insurance and health care and all that stuff. But to me, my grandmother raised me, taught me the Bible, and taught me that there is a God. I remember when it was thunder and lightning, I was, as a child not knowing things, and Grandma said, that's angels bowling, when it was thundering, so.
Yeah.
There has to be a creator for us all. I mean, it's just, I believe in God. That's period. That's it.
Yeah.
I may not go to church every Sunday, but I can pull out my dollar bill and it says, in God we trust.
Yeah.
And it would be a shame to change all that. It costs a lot of money to change over the plates and take that out.
Yeah, that. And, the problems really didn't start as bad as we've got them until people started taking God out of the country.
Right.
That was one of the things our founding fathers, put in there. It was to build a nation that would, no matter what God it was they were representing, whether it was
Correct.
Catholic or Buddhist or whoever, that's what the nation was set up for everybody's God, no matter what you believe in.
Correct.
But you had a song that you were talking about earlier. I don't know if we can mention it or not, but you got one coming
We can
out.
mention a little bit about it because actually I had to confess that back years ago there was a Hardy's TNT country music songwriters contest, and we entered this song, and the letter we got back was really it didn't really good response because the way the song was actually titled and some words, and we were putting one thing with another, and it's called Bad Bulls and Wild Women. Is that the one you're talking
Yeah.
about? Yeah. Plan on going to Nashville and recording that, but back then the lady said her father was a rodeo guy, and she didn't think it'd be respectful to mention bulls and women in the same song. But the song itself is telling the story, so we won't get into too details because certainly we want to surprise
Yeah, no.
our
I want to
listeners.
keep the audience in suspense because that is a kick-ass
Bad
song.
Bulls and Wild Women. I mean, they are as different as their names, And
Yeah,
as
oh, yeah.
cowboys, when we fall off of one, we dust off and try to get up and go back again. That's the way it works.
That song you have to dedicate it to our friend Bob.
Believe me, when I get the master done and I'm in Nashville, I'll email it to you from Nashville. You'll be the first one to get it.
Yeah, I can't wait for that one. You guys that are, that are voting for his music and stuff, this one is one of the best songs. He was in here telling us the words to it before we went on the air, and what a kick butt song that is. I can't wait for that one to come out. And you're going to be heading up Nashville pretty soon, I take it.
Just trying to get the funds together. It's I just go to the local studio and I can spend a little money, but it's not going to be the quality that I think I can get in Nashville. If I ever recommended anything to anybody, the songwriters or whatever, go to Nashville, because Nashville, you can go up there with your music or your just a guitar riff and the vocals, and you let these guys that do this all the time sit back and just listen for a minute, and they're the ones that come up with the actual notes and the way the guitars bleed in, and organs and mandolins and guitars and drums and bass, everything. I mean, it's just, that's where I think I'd give anybody advice is save the money and spend it right the first time, because I've wasted so much money on recording studios that would turn things out that just didn't. They sounded all right, but it wasn't radio ready to me. And I brought those songs back, and it seems like, and I appreciate you here at IITW playing me, but it seems like the radio's starting to pick it up. I mean, it's a slow process, but we're getting there. I'm not giving up. I'm Taurus. I was born in May, so I'm a bull. I get my head on that mountain and I keep pushing it, and I don't stop till it's done.
Yeah, well, our top 10 list came out for the week. It actually comes out tomorrow, but in the past week, and this is not the first week, but this week you made it out of, was it 2,800 and 2,950 people. Yours,
Wow,
we've only been playing it for what, 3 weeks?
that's amazing.
It's hit number one.
I guess there's a lot of people out there that do believe in God in this country, and a lot of veterans, because that song does talk about the veterans.
Yeah, that one has hit number one this week.
Yeah. I
So-
sent some of my songs to Australia, but I didn't send them that song because it doesn't fit Australia.
Yeah.
But the other song, Jane Hancock, that y'all are playing, actually charted number 9 over at one of those stations. So it seems like that I'm 58 years old, and it's kind of hard to break into country music at this age, but I think it's right. It's the right time. It's my time, I guess. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, that was my next question. How long have you been in the music industry?
Oh, man, if you want to talk about my music, I started out, I had 3 stepbrothers, kind of like a Cinderella child. One guitar. I picked it up, and I somehow learned to kick off to Folsom Prison Blues and Little Secret Agent Man, and for some reason I taught myself the theme song to Hawaii Five-0, dun 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 dun.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah. And actually in life, and God's actually he's got a sense of humor, because later on in life I got to meet Noki Edwards, the artist of The Ventures, who wrote that song out in Yuma, and got to perform with him. And as I was leaving the stage, I went over and I shook his hand, and I said, man, it was an honor and a pleasure to play with a Rock and Roll Hall of Famer. He looked at me and said, nice voice. And, man, my outlook on life just changed. I was selling cars and trying to do everything I could, and I wound up coming to Florida, because I played back here in '92 down after Hurricane Andrew hit down Miami. I came to a little town called LaBelle. My stepbrother lives there, and I was invited up to play a couple songs on stage. Now, my brother said, what songs are you going to sing? I said, well, I do Pink Cadillac and Knock on Heaven's Door. Real easy to talk a band through those songs. He said, gave me a guitar, and he said, well, here, play it. And I started playing them. He goes, man, you don't sound good. And I said, well, I'm just a little different when I got a band behind me and I got a microphone, because microphone's an instrument. You should know that. I mean, you can use a microphone to change your voice and pull away, back up, and all that stuff. And even that day, there was a bands playing, and there's probably 200 people there, and a few people dancing. And then they invited me up, and at the time I lived in Tennessee, and I guess that kind of got them interested. And I played Pink Cadillac, and that dance floor packed. That was back in 1992. But what I remember most is my little brother, my stepbrother. He's littler than me. He's older than me, but he's smaller. And he was going around, and every time he'd come around that dance floor, he'd point up at me and go, that's my brother. That's my brother. I think it's the only time in my life he's ever even, because, acknowledged me being his brother. But it was, little things in that life, I'll remember that for the rest of my life. And even though him and I don't speak now, but I got invited to his daughter's wedding, and he didn't. So, yeah, things happen,
You're playing up in Jacksonville regularly now, or?
I play at the Elks Lodge up here on West Road off of Beach Boulevard. I'm scheduled to play at Moose Haven. I'm a Moose member. That's a little order of Moose. Been a Moose member for quite a long time. And I played for a dinner up there at the Moose Lodge, 455 Jacksonville Moose Lodge, and they brought some Moose Haven members, retirement people, come in and fed them dinner, and I was entertainer. Next thing you know, that Monday morning, I was getting a phone call from the administrator at Moose Haven wanting me to get up there because everybody wanted me to come play, and I'm going up there to play for them. So that's September 22nd. I'll be at the Elks Lodge on the 15th of September, And I think we just, with your help, we got me a gig around here.
Yeah, I just called them. They're gonna go ahead and I guess I don't know. I probably shouldn't say they're gonna bump somebody because they'll be listening to
Oh,
the show.
don't say
going,
that.
oh, it's me that got bumped, but I'm sure they wouldn't mind getting bumped for you.
Well, let me tell you something, sir. You know, you've been in this business quite a long time, right? I mean, I've been bumped myself. You know, it's really bad when you show up with your stuff and you get bumped. I mean, you know, because they got somebody else there. And there's times I've been there and there's somebody sitting up and they said, "Nope, Calvin's here," and then they have to tear their equipment down. But
Yeah, it's a up and down in the music industry.
especially when you got, excuse me, especially when you got two people booking for an organization or a venue. You know, two people you talk to. I mean, they just need to have one person. You know, that one person to fill the calendar up. But I've been successful playing locally. I mean, I came here in 2008 after leaving Arizona and took a 6-month sabbatical. Bought myself a PA system again and started playing. And certainly I can tell you right back then that doing 4-hour shows was kind of rough. You know, my voice wasn't used to doing 4 hours, but over time, it's just like anything else. The more you do it, the stronger your voice gets. And I'm having fun. That's the main thing. I'm not making it rich or anything, and I don't expect to be rich. Well, you know, I don't expect to have the $20 million a year like Jason Aldean had this last year, but it'd certainly be nice. And if I did, I'd certainly try to help other people out and do that. Cause we don't get there unless people help us. Yeah. And like, thank you all for helping me and by airing my songs. And certainly, if I get an opportunity, we're going to find somebody to help them out as well.
Oh no, the thank you goes to you because for letting us share your music with the world. I
You're
mean,
welcome.
we have people in Australia and Africa and all over. For the county officials that are listening, you guys have the Blue Crab Festival coming up this year. You need to get a hold of me, and I will call Calvin up, and we need to get him booked for the Blue Crab Festival. They have, I don't know, 50,000 people that come through there.
That'd be a great show.
The same with the Catfish Festival for you guys that are listening over there in Crescent City, over at the Rotary Clubs and stuff. You need to get a hold of me, and I will give you his number, and you can call him or his agents or whatever and get him booked, but you better do it fast because I have a feeling he's not going to have very many openings coming up this next year.
I would tell everybody to friend me on Facebook, but I guess something remarkable is happening over the last 4 days. I went from 2,500 friends to the limit of 5,000 in a matter of 4 or 5 days of friends on Facebook. That was just, it's mind-boggling that they're there. And I'm actually now got singer-songwriters sending me songs, and I've even asking a few myself. I'm going to record a song that Mr. Mark Peterson wrote. And Mark Peterson actually wrote Refried Dreams for Tim McGraw and Cadillac Style for Sammy Kershaw. And he's gave me a song. And I'm going to do my best to help his career back and just share the music. That's what it's all about. Because if we don't share it and get it out there, nobody's ever going to hear it. There's actually some good songwriters out there that nobody's ever heard. I mean, some of the stuff you've been playing, I'm impressed with other stars and artists that you have in your show. Coming up from my home to Jacksonville the other day, I spent 4 hours on listening to IITW through my phone. I had it plugged in my radio. I got a port, for the auxiliary. And my God, I heard One Nation Under God on there 3 times. I was just impressed and thankful. But there's other songs there that they got those feelings that, man, I wish I could wrote something like that, And maybe we'll get one of them and put them on an album and help them out. I don't know.
Yeah, we try to push young artists on there and artists that are coming up, and to get them to get them the recognition, because so many of these, the music industry, from what it is, I mean, I've been in music since late 60s, all the way up. Well, we're the same age, so but excuse me, but the industry has been bastardized so much, and it's all about money anymore, and it's not as much about, I mean, it's always about talent, but we've got people on like yourself. I've seen people up in Nashville that have bought their way in, and I don't know how they ever got put on the radio.
I visited Nashville back in the 90s, and I'm not going to mention names who I spoke to because we don't want to offend anybody, but I was told that if I had $250,000, I could be a top 40 video and with an album. And I looked at them and I said, well, if I've got $250,000, I could do it myself. And certainly I hadn't spent that much money yet, but originally the One Nation Under God was recorded by Soul Circus. Excuse me, yeah, it's Soul Circus Cowboys, and I released it on my record label, and we put it out and went to 86 in the charts for Pulse charts. It was getting played, but it was a little bit longer. It was like 4 minutes and 27 seconds back then, and I just went to Nashville and redone it, and I guess I'm really more pleased with this version because it's my voice for one thing. But like I say, trying to get back to Nashville does cost money. But I've got a 3-song CD, and I've actually put on Facebook that if anybody wants to help me by sending me $10, and I'd send them that 3-song CD. That's including me paying the postage too. But it's all trying to get me to go back to Nashville because it does take a lot of money. On the 3 songs I that y'all have right now, but y'all have only been playing 2. Is that correct? Yeah, I think we just got Well, the third one, there's a story behind that, and maybe we'll play it here a little bit, and I'll tell you the story for that, but we'll get to that. But on my Facebook, if you are my friend, certainly there's a deal there, and you can send me some money, and I'll send you a CD, and I'll put your name on it. I'll print them up myself, and specially made for so-and-so. If your name's John, I'll put specially made for John. I'll sign it, whatever I got to do. But it's just trying to get some help because right now I'm not a rich man, and certainly, but if we start playing a little bit more and we make a little more money, it would help. But we're going to go back to Nashville because I got to get Bad Bulls and Wild Women in here on IITW radio.
Oh, yes, definitely on that one. And we were talking about you doing a video with it. I can see the video. I can see 1,000 ways, different ways to do that video, and they're all kick butt.
I like what we were discussing. But we're going to save that for surprise because certainly if we get a video, we're going to let you put it on your website.
Yeah, you guys will have to stay tuned to that. And look, the whole thing about IITW radio is to help the artist out to get to where they're going. And by you guys, it's not donating. He's not asking you to give him money. He's asking you to purchase one of his CDs. And that's what makes the world of music. It's not giving some guy up in Nashville or woman or whoever it is running a big corporation $250,000 to get music out there. The artists that we play are ones that have talent, or they would not be sitting in the studio and they would not be on IITW radio. We try not to play, the worst thing in the world, I've said it 100 times, is for me to have to tell somebody, you suck. Go work at a fast food joint or something, but find a different line of work. And a lot of times, they get hurt by it, but that's the only way I could tell them. But the fact that you're sitting in here and the fact that you have people voting for you and bringing you to number 1, it means you don't suck.
Well, I've been told at times I did, and that, I think just taking that comment made me stronger and made me try to do better and try to create something and change my voice or a lot of songs are not in my key, and I've learned how to transpose the music to where I can sing it a little easier for my voice and not strain, because if I strain, I may not hit that note.
They told Bob Dylan the same thing, and look at where he went.
Yeah.
The guy couldn't carry a tune in a slop bucket with the lid, directions are written on the lid, but his music, he had that different voice about him. He just brought it all together.
Johnny Cash liked him.
Oh yeah, Johnny Cash was the same way. He didn't. The first time I ever heard him when I was a little kid, I'm like my grandfather and Dad and them were all sitting out on the front porch, bobbing their heads, and I'm like, well, that's when Kung Fu Fighting and stuff had come out. And
yeah, but you got to understand, Grandpa and them were drinking moonshine back in the day, But
And
going back
moonshine.
to helping me out, that $10, you'll get a little song, 3 CDs. But if you'll send me along with your email address, when I do get the master, I'll send all the MP3s for that master to everybody's email address, and they'll have a copy of it. So
yeah, and
it's actually a bonus.
Yeah, we're going to be giving away some MP3s here. We're going to be putting up a contest so people can write in and say, I love Calvin O's music, and that not only helps get you this word out, but they can win some MP3s to put on their phone, or I'm not sure how the MP3 stuff works. I just listen to our radio station, so
it's just a compact version of a WAV file.
Yeah.
I actually went to college for computers, so I'm a little bit more. I'm not stupid, but I can actually get into your computer and really mess it up. Going into the binary system, the root system,
Well, that's why I've got these guys in the studio. You could tell they're shuffling around stuff and everything else, and I don't know My grandpa used to say, I don't know the difference between a bull's ass and a banjo about what I'm doing. I sit here and talk, and they make everything to come together.
I've never tried to play a bull's ass, but I've attempted a banjo, but I don't do very well.
I can't play either one. I've got guitars. You don't want to hear me play a guitar.
Neither do you want to hear me play. I'm not even playing on this seat, the tracks that you're hearing here. I play along with my tracks when I play out and do my show as a one-man show, but actually I've been talking to a band out of Hurricane Hill, some of Loretta Lynn's relatives, grandchildren, I think is what it is.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to release the name of the place, but you will be here on September 21st.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be nice.
Yeah, so you guys are going to have to get out to wherever it's going to be. We'll release that later on because he's got to decide which one he wants to play at. Not
well, what
if
they
he
need to
can
do
play.
is just start going and visiting everybody around here and look for my poster. When they see my poster, they'll know.
Oh, yeah. So we'll release where he's going to be at, and you guys are going to need to get there early because it'll be booked up.
Oh, man, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I want to ask you about the fundraiser you're doing.
Fundraiser. You know, a late friend of mine named Mindy McCready, y'all may remember her from the back in the day. I met her a few years before she committed suicide. And she asked me to do something and tell the story and all that. And I think what I'm going to be doing in the future with my Jane Hancock royalties is actually starting a foundation for abused women. And I guess we'll title it Mindy McCready Abused Women Center or something. I'm not sure exactly how we're going to do that. Certainly I'll need to talk to an attorney. I think you had an attorney on here last week.
Yeah, he loves your music.
Maybe he can sit there. Maybe he can give us some advice and give us some guidance to set this all up. But I think that's what I'm supposed to do. I mean, no, that's what I'm supposed to do. It's not a thinking deal. I'm supposed to do that. Mindy told me to tell the story. I'm not going to get into the details on that right now, but later on we probably share that with the public. But it's a personal thing from my point of view because I was there. I was actually there. You know, when I met Mindy, her boyfriend said, "Go talk to Mindy." And Mindy McCready? And he pointed at her. And to me, she wasn't that 18, 19-year-old girl in the video. She was a woman. Looked a little different, but she was Mindy. And her and I, you know, hit it off right. As a matter of fact, I told her the song, like I told you about Bad Bulls and Wild Women earlier. I went through the lyrics of Jane Hancock, and she said that would be a hit. And I said, Mindy, don't be pulling my leg now. What makes you think it would be a hit? You know, 'cause, you know, a lot of people will tell you anything just to get rid of you. But she said that, you know, back in the day before she got her deal, that she was doing the demos. And when she did the demos, they just listened to the words itself and knew when it went out the door if it was going to be good or not. And so that itself has kept me going, I guess. Made me want to push, and it's been a slow push, but thank God for people like you and the other stations around this country. They're starting to actually hear my version of my song, One Nation Under God, and I think God wants to share it with our country, and
yeah.
I think that's what's happening. And I was talking to a promoter up in Nashville. I'm not going to mention any names, but she said that if a country station wouldn't play that song, they're either communist or Russian influenced. I don't know.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, I don't know, but you know, if we could get President Trump to just tweet it, One Nation Under God, and Calvin Owen, boy, I tell you what, everybody know about that thing, or maybe they'd be on CNN next thing you know. I don't know. Well, I just dream, you know. And my third wife, I've been married a few times, but my third wife said that she was proud of me, and this was after we're divorced a long time. And I said, well, wait a minute, what makes you proud of me? She goes, you've never given up on your dream. Most people do. And I have to admit that I know people who have given up on the dream. And some dreams are shattered because of accidents. I understand that. That's not the way I'm talking about, but I've never given up. I'm not going to give up. If I leave here today and have an accident, I'm happy. If God takes me tomorrow, I'm still happy because I've never given up on my dream.
Well, I think what I'm going to do is, if it's all right with you, Ron DeSantis is supposed to be down here, or about a mile from here. What it was, about 4 miles? About 4 miles from here.
Okay, who is that?
He's the one that Trump's pushing. He's a congressman for Florida. He's running for governor.
Well, then feel free to share my song with him.
Yeah, and give it to him. It looks like he's going to be the one that's going to wind up taking the governor's race down here in Florida.
We need some change.
I think if he's playing it, I think Trump will probably push him off the podium to take the song.
Well, I had a
Or
friend.
he'll tweet about him.
I'm not going to mention names, but if you look out there on the internet, you can find a song called "The Trump Card," and this gentleman was actually picked up by the Trump campaign and taken along, and he was out doing the concerts in the cities Trump was doing the speeches at during the election campaign, and things like that can happen. But you know, our country's changing. And it seems like people of the government, our government's actually getting more powerful than people, and that's not what way it was written. That was written in words, you know, by hand. They all read it in hand that the government shall never be greater than the people. It's the government of the people, by the people, and for the people.
Right.
And I'm not going to get political, but we people need to stick together, and it's us that's going to make the change, not the politicians.
Exactly.
And we picked the right people to get in there and change the things that we think should be changed, because I can't see a senator or a congressman having better health care than me and you, because we are all equal.
We're unmuted.
Hey, you are listening to IITW Radio. We want to thank you for listening. Tonight, Travis is out on the road, so we want to wish him safe travels. As we do the ads tonight, first up we have Eastside Collision and Towing. That's called Bob Baldwin, the owner. They have 24-hour towing available at 386-227-0003. He specializes in towing, custom painting, collision work, mechanical work. He is located at 286 Highway 17 South in East Palatka, Florida, and he does free estimates. Don't forget to call Bob Baldwin. Thank you.
Yep. All right, hold on. I'm just pulling up the second one. It's Benio. Hold on. Press the button. Drinking and irrigation wells. Benio Pump and Wells, locally owned and operated, state licensed well drilling business, offering more than 3 decades of dependable service. That's 31 years. We use the industry. They use the industry's most modern drilling. They do drilling stuff. They do pump repair, pump replacement, pump well restoration, well abandonment, and drilling new wells, except in Putnam County. They aren't doing that.
No, they're not doing that at this time in Putnam County, but they should be able to do some other stuff. Give him a shout, and he will let you know what he can and can't do. Doesn't hurt to call.
Do not hesitate to call them. They are apparently a name you can trust, as said so on the page.
386-334-1593. Call Benio.
Alrighty, hold on. Boop, 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 boop. Hey.
And next we have Hair by Barbie. Barbie is available by appointment only daily. She offers 2 locations. She has Kelly's Hair Studio at 916 St. John's Avenue in Palatka, Florida, or Salon Lofts at 440 CBL Drive, Unit 103, Loft number 7 in St. Augustine, Florida. You can call Barbie at 904-501-9542 and schedule your appointment today.
Alright. And there we go. Hey. Animal Health Center. They offer x-rays that are digital, cleanings that are dental, boarding, neutering and spaying, small animal orthopedics, low-cost vaccines, and general healthcare needs. Their hours are Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7:30 to 5 p.m., Tuesdays and Thursdays 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. by appointment only. That means you gotta call them and go like, hey, yo, is this cool? Alright, cool. Saturday, 8 a.m. to noon, and they are closed Sundays.
You can call them at 386-328-0327.
All right. Did I miss the number on the thing?
No, I had it in my phone.
Okay. Then... boop.
Next we have Tom's AC and Heat. Go ahead.
AC and Heat, they do sales, installation, service, and maintenance. Residential only at this time, available 24 hours a day. They get free estimates. They are located at 112 Volunteer Avenue, Interlachen, Florida, 32148, or 110 Commonwealth Avenue in Interlachen, Florida, 32148. 386-684-2169 is their number.
And they do 100% financing with 0% APR financing with approved credit only.
Yep. And yeah. Boop.
We have Birds Sales next. Birds does rent to own with competitive prices and great service. They're open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 8 to 3, and they are closed on Sundays. They're located at 624 Highway 17 South in San Mateo, Florida. 386-328-1020. And you can go to birdsalesinc.com. That's BYRDSSALESINC.com. They do setup, sales, and delivery.
And I'm just making noise because I'm pulling up the next one, and it's Cars. Community Automotive Repair Specialists. They are open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. They are closed Saturday and Sunday. They sell tires at cost. Be sure to mention IITW Radio or the Putnam Way for your alignment, mounting, and balancing needs. They have 3 locations, 3520 Creel Avenue, Plaque, Florida, and that number is 386... Oh, Lord, spit. 325-6004, 386-325-6005. The other addresses, that's the word I'm looking for, 1608 Idlewild Avenue, Green Cove Springs, Florida, 904-657-2301, and Advanced Auto Care at 3820 Southwest Archer Road in Gainesville, Florida, 352-505-0548. All right. And bye. The next one is...
Hey gang, I'm here with Amanda.
That's not what I wanted.
Sorry, guys. Travis is out of the studio. He just left us in charge, so you'll have to forgive us for a moment.
The next one is Palaka Cinema. Hold on. Boop. Boop.
Hey gang, I'm here with Amanda like cinema.
Hold on, it's doing a thing. I'll fix it.
Oh, is it playing slow again?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, boop.
Those gremlins got in the computer.
What you guys got going on?
Right now we have our 250 Tuesday. 250 Concession Tuesday is a deal we offer on concession items. Tickets will never be 250, but still come on down, help us support 250 Tuesday. And as always, I want to thank the people of Palatka and Putnam County for #keep it local. We really do appreciate your support, and we wouldn't be here without it. And we know we always love the kids. Everything we do is for the kids. So bring them on down, help us out, and as always, #keep it local.
All right, thank you, Amanda. You're the best.
Alrighty. Now.
Are we going back to the regularly scheduled program?
Yep, we
back
should
to
be.
our interview with Calvin O. Thank you guys for listening and bearing with us. So
Give me like half a second. Because
Calvin is actually going to be here in Putnam County on the 21st of September. So
and
we are back.
yeah.
Thank you for listening.
Can't see them they don't show up for voting for certain things, but when it comes time for a raise like that, yes, they can vote. That's not right.
Yeah, I got problems with John McCain right now doing that. I know he's a veteran and all, but when you don't show up all work for a year, you know, something's messed up with that. But
I'm not going to put anybody down because I thank for everybody for getting in there and doing something. You know, because if you, like me, I'm sitting back here and other people sit back here and we talk about it, but if we don't get up, stand up, and try to do our own efforts to change it, we have no right to even say a thing, I guess. I mean, you got that man sits there and drinks a beer and complains about the country, but he never gets up and vote.
Yep, I preach that all the time. Get up, get out, and vote. You're never going to make a change. And the other thing that I say damn near every Tuesday night when we've got Greg on the air is that people are afraid of the government when the government should be afraid of the people.
Exactly.
And it's been that way for too many years now. People are afraid of the government. They're afraid of everything about it. And the government should be afraid of us. We have the power to vote them in and out.
You know, Travis, the government is afraid of the people.
They seem to be lately here.
You remember Waco, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the government afraid of the people. That's all that was, you know. So we have the right to bear arms. It's in our Constitution. They cannot take that out. If they do, that's unconstitutional, period. I mean, those words are written to establish this country, and this country is established by those words, we the people.
Yeah, I remember the whole thing with that when Clinton sent Janet Reno down there, and they went in and they murdered those women and children. I'm not going to get into all that now, but it's not a political
One
show.
nation under God.
Yeah, that's it, and that's what it needs to be back to. So
Well, for those
what does-
people who actually think they're Jesus' child, I mean, God, son, you know, if they're God's child, God sent them here, they might need to be evaluated a little bit. But you know, if you preach the word and live the word, we wouldn't be in this situation.
yeah, we don't need any Jim Jones and the Kool-Aid
No.
deals going on.
If
But-
we all lived by the Ten Commandments, we wouldn't even need sheriffs. They'd
That's-
throw them all out of jail. We wouldn't need prisons. There wouldn't be no drug dealers. I mean, there would be a utopia, I guess is the right word.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, that's what it's supposed to be. I mean, that's why it's designed to keep us all from being cavemen, I guess.
Yep,
But,
you're absolutely right. So let me ask you, what does singing mean to you?
Singing means to me, I tell you what, I could have the worst day of my life, and I get up there in front of a microphone and just start playing in front of people, or tables and chairs. I've done that before. I'm in a different world. I mean, it's like I'm in my different world. I can grab a guitar and just peck around the house, and my girlfriend will be talking to me, but I don't react to her because I'm still doing what I'm doing. And she goes, "You're not listening to me," and I can stop and repeat every word she said, and that makes them mad sometimes. But to music, it's tranquility to me. I mean, I enjoy it because people say I mean, I forget. I can't. People compliment me in so many ways. It's humble that I just. I enjoy what I'm doing. I'm glad the people that listen to me enjoy it. I haven't really had a lot of people complaints about my music, except some people tell me it's too loud. But the thing about it, when they tell me it's too loud, I can hear the guy sitting right next to him singing back at me right along with the song. So I don't know if I'm that loud or not. But I've had stuff like that.
Well, by the interview, you're definitely a patriot.
I tell you what, I grew up in America, a little town called Caruthersville, Missouri. It's on the Boot Hill in Missouri, right on the Mississippi River, just a few miles from where Patsy's plane took off in Tennessee. Patsy Cline, that is. Last time we seen her. My grandmother raised me, my step-grandfather. Then I went to live with my mother and some stepchildren and half-brothers and stuff like that. But only time I've ever been to prison was to pick up my brother. Who got out. I visited him one day and picked him up the next day, and it wasn't probably a year later he's back in it. So some of us don't never learn, I guess.
Yeah, the prisons are full. That's for damn sure. But like, where do you see yourself in 5 years, and what would your dream be for music? I mean, if you had to have a dream for music.
When I was 16, or maybe even younger than that, I was watching it. I think it was a 4th of July show on TV, and this is where it all started, really. I mean, the guy, I think he was in a red sequin suit, I vaguely remember this, and he walked over to a piano and started playing the piano. And they may not be the right band or the right song, but I'll tell this. If I told you the story, it's like I tell everybody. The piano started rising up and flipping over and over, and my story goes along. That was REO Speedwagon playing "Keep On Rolling." That's the thing. And I thought, man, that's what I want to do. And later on in life, I picked up the guitar at 21. I started playing. I learned how to play the Eagles, taking it easy. Not very well, but I could play a little bit. I learned most of my chords. And I went to Houston, Texas, and met a girl, and her father was a musician, actor. And I picked up his Alvarez and started playing that. And he looked at me and said, "Boy, you want to learn how to play a guitar, don't you?" And I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "I'll teach you, but you're not going to like it." I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "You want to learn that rock and roll stuff." I said, "Well, I don't know. I want to learn how to play the guitar." He goes, "I'll teach you country, boy. You learn how to play country music, you can play anything." And he showed me all the progressions and everything. But finding myself in 5 years from now, probably doing what I'm still doing, enjoying life and singing music and sharing it, and maybe we'll get some more songs together and maybe help somebody else out in this business if we get successful. Success to me is just, well, I grew up with a guy named Preston Stanfield. We went to Crowsville High School together, and Preston's a year younger than I am. He was a drummer, and he moved to Nashville, and he was there 3 or 4 years and trying to get a job, and nobody really helped out Preston. And he tells that he came home and he told his dad he's getting ready to move back home, and his dad said, "Go back and give it 6 more months, and if nothing happens, then you come home." He became Shelley Wright's road drummer, and when Shelley lost her contract, he actually put Rascal Flatts together. Originally, he was original drummer, and then when Rascal got their signing opportunity to sign, somebody didn't really want Preston as a drummer. They had probably had a cousin or a nephew or something they wanted to put in the band, and And that almost didn't happen. Rascal Flats almost didn't happen because Jodan, the guitar player, him and Preston were roommates and they were friends. And Jodan said he's not going to do it unless Preston goes. And Preston said, look, Jodan, just sign the papers. I'll be fine. And, well, y'all know the rest of the story on that one. So they're a pretty top band. But I'd like to get Preston to tour with me. I mean, he's got the experience. I asked him one day, I said, what does it feel like to stand up in front of, play in front of 30 or 40,000 people, which I'm sure he was probably playing bigger crowds than that. And he told me the story that he used to wear baseball jerseys when he played, you know, that's what he does, because he was a baseball player back in high school. And I could see Preston playing with a baseball jersey, but he said they were up in Detroit, and he said the only jersey he had was a Toronto Blue Jay. So when Shelley introduced him, he stood up there and he's got that Toronto Blue Jay shirt on right there in Detroit where it's Tiger country, you know. And he said, Calvin, you'll never know the feeling of 30,000 people booing you. And I said, man, you know, it's booing or cheering. At least they know who you are, you know.
Yeah, right. So you're going to be playing Jacksonville. Well, you're not from, but you're down in the Sarasota, Bradenton area.
I live in a little town called Parrish. It's a real nice community. Well, I'm down there where the Allman Brothers people are. I mean, I haven't met Dickie Betts, but I'm real good friends with his daughter Kim. She has a band. She's been playing around there a little bit. But her son Grant is actually playing up here in Jacksonville. He's going to music school, college nowadays. Very good guitarist. We meet all the people. I mean, Florida is full of musicians, and they're full of the musicians that have had success in the past. They're all down here. I think they all retired to Florida. It's nice weather sometimes.
Yeah, you start getting older and the bones start hurting.
Oh, yeah. I lived in Arizona for 10 years, and it's hot out there, but it's a dry heat. It's different here. But I've always loved Florida. I guess when I came down here and played those two songs back in the day, the band actually tried to get me to go on tour with them. You know, they were called Rockin' Country out of Tampa, but that didn't happen. But I've had fun with music. I mean, I used to book gigs and not even have a band, and then I'd get the gig and I had to call up the musicians and we'd have to practice one time and go in and play. But here, when I'm playing locally here, I guess I'll be doing a one-man show. But I've already made the phone call to, like I say, to the bands, and when we get bigger, we're going to have a band. And we played in Eureka, Kansas the other day on the morning show. The DJ played us, and he through a text message, he goes, look, he's on the committee for Eureka and Wichita, and if we're planning on being on the area, contact him, because if we can work it in the budget. So things like that keep me going. I mean, that's what we thrive for, you know.
I got some young guys down here. Sean from Richter 7, I know you listen to the show all the time. If you ever want to go jam with a guy, you need to come over to the studio or get with Calvin when he's playing at one of these places and play backup for him, man.
Man, if they got a guitar, I got a board, it's got plenty of channels, they can come in. I can't break the track down as far as take a guitar out, but to me, the way I see it and the way I try to explain people, I'm kind of like a professional karaoke singer, but I play guitar along with it. It's like say Leonard Skinner's in town, and they wanted somebody to come up and play with them. It's just one more guitar, you know. You're not going to override what they got. You accent what they have, or just sit back and lay back and play. And I like it. I love it. I mean, it's amazing when I play through the One Nation Under God. When I do that song live, I actually stand up during the lead of the guitar, the break, and I get everybody saying the Pledge of Allegiance if there's a flag around. And I guess so if I do get to get a big show, I guess we're going to carry some flags to make sure there is a flag so everybody can stand out in the audience and do the same thing, you know.
Yeah, that'd be cool. All right, well, you're going to be playing over here on September 21st.
Yep.
And we'll announce that later. And then you're going to be playing in Jacksonville on the 22nd.
That's at the Moose Haven.
At the Moose Haven?
That's you got to be a Moose member to get in, but you can come up there as a visitor, and I'm sure there's going to be plenty of Moose members that would sign you in. And I can't advertise. We don't ask for memberships like that, but if you're interested, just see a Moose member. They'll tell you they'll tell you all about it and tell you how to, if you want to become a part of that, they'll tell you how to do it.
Cool beans. Now, well, I know you guys, listen, we're going to be announcing this probably in the next week. We'll give it what, a week or 2 weeks?
About a week and a half.
Yeah, about a week and a half, and then we'll announce it because the place is going to be booked up. You're going to need to call and reserve the spot where it's going to be at.
Man, am I going to get a table?
I'm not going to tell them yet. I want to keep them in suspense. That way, it's the first come my audience gets there first, and I don't want word getting out yet.
I'll say this while we're on the radio and they listening. The first 20 people that show up will get a CD that come up and ask me for a CD. I'll have a CD for them.
Okay.
It's not in the big package, but I'll have a CD made up for them.
Okay.
They can have.
That'll work. And then we'll announce in the next week or so when you're going to be the MP3 giveaways that we're going to be doing, and then we'll get you up there. You guys come up. I'll make sure I've got a marker for him so he can sign your baby's forehead or something when you show up there.
I'd rather sign a baby's no, I would. I'd get in trouble. I get in trouble for signing any body parts.
And he has got a girlfriend, so no breastus is signing or any of that thing, gals.
I could be persuaded. No, I don't think so.
No, she's going to hear this. She's going to come after me. I just talked to her on the phone a minute ago with you. I know I'm not pulling that string.
Yeah, I hope she's doing good, sir. She got a flat tire, and she was on the way home, and she went the other way. She went towards Ocala, and I came down south. So we were lucky to be in the same different cars, or she'd be sitting right here with us. So, and my dogs.
That's all. You can bring the dogs. I got dogs and horses. And
yeah, I knocked on your front door, and I heard the alarm.
And 2 cats I don't want.
I didn't hear those cats. I heard those dogs.
The cats won't leave me alone. My daughter drug them home 3 years ago. The one is named Batmite. And this cat, I'm not a cat person, but I'm a 1-cat person. And now I've got another one that showed up that follows me around like a dog. And so I've got two cats, 2 dogs, and 4 horses that follow me around like the Dr. Doolittle of dysfunctional animals.
And a 50-pound bag of carrots waiting.
Yeah, and a 50-pound bag of carrots.
If I can say something real quick, the word cats reminds me of something. I got a friend back in Arkansas named Edward Dickey, and he's a publisher and everything and songwriter, and he's hit songs over in Europe and everything. Never made anything in the United States, but I used to do a song that he wrote, and I changed the word called "Too Much a Cat" to tell a kitten what to tell it do. And but the song was too old of a cat to let a kitten tell me what to do. And I spoke to him the other day, and I said, that song actually fits me now at this age. So do you mind if I record it on my finish up this project? And that's going to be a song called "Too Much a Cat" or "Too Old a Cat to Let a Kitten Tell Me What to Do." And you'll like those lyrics too.
I have to give him one of the books for love letters from Bubba, one of my books, and see if he can write a song about that.
There's a book with. If I can go into this, a friend of mine from high school, Clarissa Johnson, that's Cedric the Entertainer made the movie Johnson Family Reunion.
Mm-hmm.
Cedric's from my hometown, Crothersville, Missouri, and that's where the film winds up at Crothersville, I guess. But Clarissa wrote a book called Life Trains. It's got little short stories, and I won't go into detail, but I actually had to sign a release because she sent me a little story that included my name and my song One Nation Under God. So there's a chapter in there. It's fictitious, but it's real. It's got my name and my son's name and the song in there. So if you can find it on Amazon.com or wherever they do it, just Life Train by Clarissa something Johnson. She got, I can't remember her but she got Clarissa Wilkins Johnson, Life Train. There's a chapter in there that's dedicated to Calvin O, and it's titled One Nation Under God. So
Well, where can people find your music at?
you can find my music on cdbaby.com or Reverb Nation, or you can check I got some starting videos on YouTube. They're nothing really professionally produced, but we're actually working on the Jane Hancock video right now. We actually got a line dance to that, so we'll be putting that in part of that. And I shared the story with you about my vision for One Nation Under God video, and we've already spoke to the place, and I think we'll keep it as a surprise. But it's about veterans. It's all about veterans and about the United States. So.
Yeah, you guys are going to have to check that out. We're not going to give you any information on it right now, but that is going to be
got to keep them wanting more. I was always told to make them want more. Give them a little bit, but not want more, desire more. We appreciate everybody. I appreciate everybody responding to my One Nation Under God and all the other music I get, and I hope you respond to the ones we're going to record in the future. And one of these days I'll look back and I'll say, IITW radio. Travis helped me out, and I'm thankful for that. I'm very thankful for that.
We appreciate you letting us play your music. You guys can check out Calvin O. Your Facebook page is booked up. Of course, I asked people to go on there and like your page and get to know you.
We're going to make
A
another
couple
page.
weeks ago, and yeah, you're going to have to do another page now.
Hey,
so
how they like my hat? I just bought this in Jacksonville.
I like that.
Because I came up here, not really knowing if we were going to do this today, and actually I didn't have a hat, and I can take the hat off, and you could know me for 2 years, right, Travis?
Oh,
I can
yeah.
walk up behind you without a hat, and you won't recognize me. That's what they say. I go up to people and talk to them all the time. They act like they don't know me, and then I said, "Well, if I had the hat on, oh, Calvin, oh."
If I put a Ford or Chevy hat on, nobody recognized me. As soon as the only thing that make the hat better is if you got this A right here on the top
yes.
of it. Roll
You know,
Tide.
my stepfather was a mechanic, and we had all the jokes for the mechanics back then. Ford, people on Ford, people on Chevy, people on Dodges. But the most memorable joke that I remember, and you can tell it either way, and I'm not trying to cut anybody down because I drive a Ford. I've owned Chevrolets. I've owned a Dodge. But see, you drive a Chevrolet out there, is that it?
No, I've got a Ford F-350.
You got a Ford, okay? Well, I'll tell a joke towards you, and it's just punning, okay? You know what the first thing that wears out on a Ford, right?
The driver.
No, the rear bumper from being pushed by a Chevy. And then
Get out. No, just joking.
Okay. On a quiet night here in Putnam County,
You can hear Chevy
You
rust.
can hear a Chevy rusting. Yeah. Oh, you've heard. You was at my dad's garage, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, I get caught in all the time. You drive a Ford. Yeah, well, I also have a Blazer. I have a Jeep, But I rag on all of them except for the Jeeps. Nobody ever rags on Jeep. They'll rag on Dodge. That's because Jeeps
I tell you
cost
what
too
I'm
much
gonna do.
to
I'm
fix.
sitting and looking at the monitor. And I see how shadowy my face is. I'm gonna do this just for 1 second. I'm gonna pull his hat off and let the light show, and shine on my silver hair. So there I am.
You got a full head of hair though. Mine's
Yeah.
yours is turned gray. Mine's turning
I don't know
loose.
about full hair. It's a lot. I like to keep it cut short. I have had it down to where my wife actually, my third wife, braided 14 braids in my ponytail.
Holy crap!
That's back when I started playing music. Guy called me up. He says, "I hear you play guitar." I said, "Yeah." He goes, "How many songs you know?" I said, "About 20." He goes, "If you're playing in G, what's your chords?" I said, C and D. "What's your off chord?" A minor. "That'll do. Show up Friday night. We'll pay you $35. And I did. And they're stories. I mean, I got plenty of stories. It's been. I've had a good, successful life and fun. A lot of friends, a lot of fans. Just having a good time, and continue to do this because this is what I love to do. I've lost wives over this. I've lost girlfriends over music, because no matter what, the music comes first for me.
If I was singing, I'd lose all my animals. I'm sure they'd all be running away. But I want to thank you for coming in the studio. You guys can check out his music on Reverb Nation. You can go to IITW Radio and listen to it. He keeps making the top 10, so his music's in the genre every couple hours at least. And then
I was handed a question. Can we cover that real quick?
Okay.
Most memorable venue
Okay.
today, right here? Is that
Oh,
a
yeah.
venue? This is pretty exciting to me. Appreciate
Okay.
it. Thank y'all.
I appreciate it. We're going to try to get you, I'm going to get a hold of the county officials and stuff and then try to get you booked into the Catfish Festival before you go
Man,
on to Nashville.
It'd be an honor.
And get you booked into the Blue Crab. They're actually really big festivals. Catfish Festival is one of the oldest festivals still running in the state of Florida and one of the oldest in the United States.
Well, I can play a lot of cover tunes, but maybe we'll get to Nashville and have more songs come back and offer people.
Well, we
Maybe
got to
have a
get
full
you
CD.
here before you get off up into Nashville and forget about me.
No, Travis.
I'm going to screen up. I will come up. If you forget me, I will come up and moon you
Travis,
while you're walking down
I'm
the
going
red
to tell
carpet.
you this right now. You and your staff have backstage passes for life, okay? There'll be a certain word. All you got to do is come. I'll have these certain words put on a list because I'm sure that, well, I don't know. I don't know how it does. I've never been there, but I know that I've tried to get into the back doors, people, and they got a list, and you can't get in unless you got certain qualifications.
I can see it now. I'll be yelling, Calvin. You're like, I'll just moon you.
No,
Oh
no.
yeah, that's Travis.
Travis, let me tell you real quick. I got a friend named Jim McGuire. Lives
Remember
over
that white
Ruskin.
ass?
Jim lived in Lexington, Kentucky. He was there in the garage when Exile was actually practicing, starting before they became big. And he was standing out here, I think it was Daytona or somewhere, where Exile was on stage, and Jim was standing there with his wife, who used to babysit for one of the members' band members' kids, and they recognized him and pointed him out. And so, no, we don't forget. I mean, certainly Ozzy Osbourne probably forgot a lot, but I won't forget. Those days are behind me. This is like a kid. I'm on my second wind of life, I guess. I mean, I've tried it before, never been successful. The song is helping me. People like you in the industry are helping me. Certainly, I push. I try to email every radio station I can, ask them if I can submit. And I submitted to somebody over in England, I think it was, and the guy sent back, said he didn't think my songs were for his format, and that kind of upset me. And then I said, well, please delete them, so that way you don't violate my copyrights. And I'm not gonna mention any names, but yeah, it's a fun life. But I think the venue here has been memorable. Certainly playing with Noki Edwards on that time. I mean, that was in a heart, especially when he looked at me, and him and I became friends. I even seen the original version of One Nation Under God with Billy McKnight and Soul Circus Cowboys recorded, and I released it. And he said it was too long, and I agree. 427 is not a country song. That's rock and roll music type, but we got it reduced, and I'm pretty happy with Ken Royster in Nashville. He actually I sang in the same microphone that Luke Combs recorded Like a Hurricane on. And Thompson Square did Are You Gonna Kiss Me or Not? I mean, to me, that's an honor to walk in a studio that you don't think about that when you walk in there, because it looks like it was in the basement of a building, Yeah. But a lady named Ruthie Steele is a songwriter, and her brother wrote Chisel and Stone by Vern Gosdin. And for some reason, God has put us in. We've been talking, and there's a song she's got called Two Beers Ago, and I told her I want her to cut it. And I asked Ken if he had the music track still, and Ken said, no, that was 18 years ago. I didn't realize it was 18 years ago, but we'll go in there. I told Ken we need to put a new sound to it, but Ruthie said, help me out. She said she wanted to be famous before she dies, and I don't know if I can do that or not, but certainly I'm going to be honored to put one of her songs on my album. So, yes, thank you, everybody. God bless you all, and thank you all for today. And I look forward to playing around here, and certainly having. We always got to have an MC to start it off with, and I would be honored if you would be on stage to introduce us anytime if we do play.
No,
if
no
it's just
problem.
me or me and my band when we get it together,
No, I'll be there.
Great, man. Sounds
All right, well,
good,
I want
man.
to thank you for coming in, Calvin.
Thank you,
Appreciate
sir. God bless you.
All right, brother. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks at the gig.
Cool. That's gonna be fun. We need a video of that or live pod it or something, or go on
I can
Facebook.
broadcast live right out there.
There you go. There you go.
Hey,
Do
Chris.
we get in trouble for doing covers? You just broadcast when I do my originals. That way, there's no problem.
Yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
we'll get Chris out there. And they can't come after you. They can
Come
come
at
after
Chris?
me. But
Like
we'll
his
get Chris
mustache.
out.
He needs to get on his.
Well, Chris will actually be inside the studio here because he has to run everything while I'm out with the laptop and the microphone.
The true
and
man
stuff.
behind the scenes that never gets on the
Yep.
camera, huh?
No, we have him. He sticks his head in there. Stick your head in, Chris, and say hi. He's got the handlebar mustache, the whole thing going on.
Yeah.
Say hi.
Anyway, all right, brother, we're going to get off the air, and thank you so much for
God
coming
bless
in and
you all.
share your music.
God bless IITW
Okay.
Radio.
Thank you.
Must have been through about 1,000,000 girls. I'd love them and leave them alone. I didn't care how much they cried. Their tears left me cold like a stone. But I fooled around and fell. I fooled around and fell. I fooled around and fell in love. I fooled around and fell in love with you. Used to be. I met a girl I liked. I'd take out my book, write down her name. And when the grass got greener on the other side, I'd just tear out the page. But I fooled around and fell. I fooled around and fell. I fooled around and fell in love. I fooled around and fell in love with you. Free on my own, that's the way I used to be. Ever since I met you, love's got a hold on me. Yes, I fooled around and fell. I fooled around and fell. I fooled